Hi, my name is Michael Idarecis, and today we're going to have another video. Oops, I'm a little too fast on this one. So today's video is going to be about what happened at the Garden of Eden and what's happening now with the feminist and MGTOW movement, which, we're using the word MGTOW and feminist, but the reality is, if you do not have God, whether you say you're a feminist or not doesn't matter, because you are. And whether you say that you're MGTOW or not, you still are, because you're not connected to the path of God. Now, this path cannot be chosen by the will. Let's put that aside. So now they ate we're going to start right after. We'll start at verse 6. Okay? We know the serpent, we know his deal. Let's start with, and the woman seeth the tree, and it is the tree good for food. So the tree is good for food. Now remember, this is the knowledge of good and evil, and it's pleasant to the eyes. Now, I'm going to put this here. When you read the word eyes in the Bible, there's another word in view, and that is the identity. So, of course, now, if we look at a feminist, we look at the woman who wants to be the man, the good food is pleasant to the eyes, or identity. Okay, where was we? And the tree is desirable to make wise. Desirable to make wise. Okay, so this is where we start off. We're at this point. Now they ate it. What happens then? And and she taketh of its fruit, and eateth, and giveth also to her husband with her, and he doth eat. Now remember, he's supposed to be in charge here. She's handing him this fruit, she's chewing down on it, and then she hands it to him to eat it. The man is the head. He should have known right then and there. Say, wait a second, we're not supposed to do this. What are you doing to me? We got to stop. We got to call God. We got to fix this. I don't know what we're going to do. None of that. He just ate. Next verse, verse 7. And the eyes, or the identity of them, is opened. Now we get to a point where their eyes, or the identity, is opened, and that's the problem. That's really the problem. The whole thing of the Garden of Eden is the will of I. Because remember, when they went for this fruit, they went for it so they could be like God, and they can eat it and not die. Okay. So, and the eyes of both are opened, and they know that they naked. So now they're naked. Now, okay, so they're naked. Okay. And they sow fig leaves and make to themselves girdles. Okay, fig leaves and make girdles. All right, that's important too. We're going to touch upon that. Fig leaves. Why the fig leaf? And maybe we'll talk about that. That's a big thing. Okay, so now we understand. So now, this is where we're at. So now we're going to superimpose naked and fig leaves, make girdles, and we're going to put it on our two stars here. So we're going to put a girdle on this guy. Alright. And then we're going to put a girdle on her, whatever you want to call it. Now the girdle is covering the sexual reproductive parts. Sorry about that. Sexual reproductive parts are covered, both in the masculine and the feminine. Now, here's the part that's got to wake everybody up. Okay? And the sound, verse 8, and they hear the sound of Jehovah God walking up and down in the garden, in the breeze of the day, and the man and his wife hide themselves. They hide themselves. How are they hiding themselves? You'll find out in a second. They hide themselves from the face of Jehovah God in the midst of the trees of the garden. And now here's the big kicker now. This is verse number 9. This is the first words in the Bible that God says to man. So God Almighty is in front of them now, and here's what he says to the man. And Jehovah God calleth unto the man and saith to him, here we go, where thou, or where art thou? So God's asking a question. Now, of course, God knows where everybody is, but you know what God's doing? He's looking over here. He goes, where's your head? So the first question he's asking man is, where art thou? Okay, let's see what man says. What's the first thing the man says? Thy sound I have heard. So he says, I have heard, thy sound. Okay, that's the first thing he says. He says, I have heard thy sound. Remember that I. What's the next thing he says? Let me start again. Thy sound I have heard in the garden, and now look, I am now, he says, afraid. Okay, there's that I again, and now it's I am. Now God is the I am. Remember, that's what we find that out in the New Testament and the Old Testament when the burning bush, Moses says, who shall say that sent me? And God says, I am that which I am sent thee. Okay, God is the I am. We got that. Okay, so now, first words he says he's the I. Next words he says he's the I am. And then he's afraid. Why is he afraid? Because he says, again, I am naked. Okay? What's the next thing he says to him? And I hide myself. So we have one sentence. The first words man is saying to God. Okay? And he's using I 4 times. You see that? I 4 times. And 2 of the 4 he's saying that he's the I am. So he heard God, he's afraid, now he's naked, and he's hiding himself. He's not where he's supposed to be. He's hiding himself. Where is he hiding himself? He's hiding himself in the web with all the other heads. All the heads are in the web. All right, I know this is so screwed up, but what am I going to do? It is kind of funny because he's up there now. Now, my other video talked about that once the man gets ejected into the web, now he's creating the feminine in the web. The computer is feminine. You're standing still. You're not moving. You're standing still. It's a feminine object, the computer. All right, we got him now. He's not where he's supposed to be. So, who's next? Let's go to the woman. And we're going to just stay at that for a little bit. And Jehovah God saith to the woman, what? Look at this. What is this? Okay. I lost my space. Hold on a second. Jeez. Sorry about that. How did I lose it? Okay, here we go. Okay, I skipped a bit. I skipped how Adam blamed the woman, but I really want to focus on what now the woman says, okay, to God. And Jehovah God saith to the woman, what is this? Now, this is in italics, so it's not really there, so you can use it or not, but that's fine. What? Oh, I lost my space. What is this thou hast done? Now, why is that important? You see, when you look at the man is the head and the woman is the torso, and we hear this all the time. Done is also a slang word for like reproduce. What hast thou done? What hast thou reproduced? Look at what the woman reproduced. You see that little head? Well, I shouldn't have done that. The woman now is trying to be the man. This is what she reproduced. Now, let's go back to the head again. Body. Here's the body, right? This is the female part of our bodies. This is the male part of our bodies. As far as God's concerned, He doesn't want to see the old man now of who we are. He wants to see the Spirit of Christ coming up to the head, so when God sees man or woman, He sees Christ. Okay? This is what's supposed to happen. The women today are trying to be the head. Okay? They don't understand that inside them is the Spirit. And instead of focusing on the Spirit, they're focusing on all the attention they get. Why? Because they get all these eyeballs staring at them all the time. The women gets the eyeballs all the time. So these eyeballs now pull the woman out from the inside of the body and push her to the head. The energy now goes to the head because they're all looking at her. They're looking at her head. But she can't grow a head. This is all she's going to have is that little dot and that little thing. This is what she reproduced. She reproduced her own will. She brought her will up instead of Christ. Now, the same, you can, in the Bible it talks about God is the head of man and man is the head of the woman. So this is the proper relationship. God is the head of man, man is the head of woman. What the woman did is she's bypassing the man. And we know this very easily. Why? Because all the women, what are the women doing now? What's the one thing that they love to talk about now, the women, with this new thing? They want to have a name. They want the name. You know when Eve got the name? After they ate of the fruit. That's when Eve got her name. And then the first son killed the second son. The first son killed the second son. Now, there's a lot more I can go into this, but we're just going to stay here for a bit because this is really what we're talking about. What's the first thing God said to man? Where's your head? Why? Because when He was supposed to say, no, we're not supposed to eat of that fruit, He went along for the ride. Because what He did is He put His will now above God. And now the woman, what did God say to her? What is this thou hast reproduced? What she reproduced the lie. That's what the woman did. She reproduced the lie, and the man wasn't where he's supposed to be. He's upstairs with all the other guys in the web. Now, I'm not bashing MGTOW or feminism, but it's just highlighted there, and it's so easy to see because this is a full movement now. Now we got a full movement going on. It's very easy to see these distortions. And again, we're going to backtrack. What's the first thing that God said to man? Where art thou? And then He said, thy sound I heard in the garden. I'm afraid, for I'm naked, and I hide myself. Verse 11. And He saith, now look what God said. Who hath declared to thee that thou art naked? Of the tree which I have commanded thee not to eat, hast thou eaten? So, when man is wearing his girdle and the woman's wearing his girdle, meaning the MGTOW movement is up and the woman is reproducing her own, or you see the lie that she reproduced, now we know. We're right at the judgment time of God. This is straight right out of the Bible. Where are you? The man is not here. The head is not here. Instead of the man saying no to the woman when he was supposed to, he's saying no to life. He's saying no to life. Now, the women got like this because of all the eyes, all the attention. It pulled the attention outward. They forgot the spirit inside. Or they don't look at the guy anymore see what spirit is within the guy. I mean, even when Samuel went to go anoint the first king of Israel, it was he looked at Eliab, and Eliab was the big virile guy. And God said, I don't want nothing to do with him. That's not the guy. And he says, don't look at the eyes. Don't look with the eyes. Look the heart. So the heart is supposed to bring up the energy from the spirit. And if the spirit's energy is not coming up, if you do not have, in the end, the mind of Christ, whether you be masculine or feminine, then you're part of this distortion. Either God's going to say, where's your head? Or God's going to say to the woman, what did you reproduce? This is what you're going to get. Let me go a little further, verse 12. And the man saith, the woman whom thou didst place with me, she hath given to me of the tree, and I do eat. So he's blaming it to her. And Jehovah God, verse 13, saith to the woman, what is this that thou hast done? And the woman saith, the serpent hath caused me to forget. So now, when finally questioning the woman at this point, she forgot. Why did she forget? Because now she's got that head. She's got that head. Anyway, there's really a lot that we can get into this. But I don't want to make it too long of a video. It's probably too long now. And again, may God richly bless His word. And I'll have another video going up soon as well.